Mike can't hear it.
Mike
no,
can't hear
Mike's looking at us like we're dancing.
I want
y'all
you to hear these
dancing?
for a little bit.
Yeah, put him on the headphones.
Yeah, but it's a different experience with the
different.
headphones. Yeah.
And we're back.
Yeah. So, all right.
Bump, 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 bump.
Are we recording like video or just audio?
Or yes.
Yes to all of that.
Just go, Jeff.
Mine's
just
not
go.
red.
I know it's not
worry
red.
about-
Oh, now it's
Don't
red.
worry
Now
about
it's
it.
red.
Wrong
Look,
shit.
you will never be red again. If you
damn it, Jeff.
say
man.
one more thing about it being red or not being
See how he
red,
does?
you'll never be red again. I
It'll
swear,
never
Jeff.
be red
I
again.
promise you'll never be
Why am
red
I in
again.
trouble all the time?
Damn, I look swole as fuck.
Yeah. Big. So
Sorry, I'm not watching this while we do this.
no, because you're
Oh, damn it.
like sexy on your shoulders over there with yourself. Look at you.
He's got some big shoulders.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, my wife likes that shit.
He does.
Mark, you want to introduce our guest?
No, I don't.
Oh, okay.
I want you to introduce our guest.
So,
Ladies and gentlemen.
YouTubes. Today we have our host, or not our host, our sponsor
Jesus fuck.
from PKS,
You just fucked up
Mikey.
our sponsor.
aka Mike Camp. He's actually my cousin, but he also
That's not why he's the sponsor, though. It's because we're awesome.
no, he
he just-
sponsors us because he loves us.
'Cause we're awesome.
But Mike's and so anyway.
He actually likes us more than he likes you.
Oh well, that's understood. But Mike,
Hey.
he's a man of many words. But no, he really is. You get him talking. But we're gonna get him talking here in a minute, or Stoney is. But
Stoney definitely is. We got that'd be one to tag.
Yeah.
yeah, it would. I'd love
Tag
to
the
have him on the
distillery.
show.
What's the? It's not Sugar Hill.
Sugar Hill.
Oh, okay.
Distillery.
Sugar Hill Distilleries.
Most of
yeah.
you guys have probably
Used to be-
heard of the podcast that came out in the Red Clay. We have some whiskey here today from Stoney's distillery, Sugar Hill Distilleries, and called Red Clay. It's actually really good. He's really known for making brandy, which makes sense because this kind of has like a fruity flavor. But hey, we've been talking about doing reviews.
Absolutely. No, it's got that kind of
But
like an apple pie
we're,
type.
and we mostly
You think he finished it in something different?
could have finished it in like wine barrels. Honestly,
Yeah.
I think a lot of times
That's
they
a
do
thing?
brandy, or the mash could have been made with fruit.
Yeah.
I don't know, but
Apples.
but it's good. It's different because we normally just drink bourbon, and so this is kind of a little different.
Well, Stoney, we
like it.
we find it very tasty, and inside of the last 20 minutes, I think we've knocked out a good portion of that bottle.
75%.
No.
That's good.
It's 3 people, Mark. 3 people.
75%.
And 3 people actually drinking it this time.
No, I mean
It's not like the fishing trip
we don't even want to talk about it.
where 2 out of the 6 were almost drinking bourbon.
And 80% of the bottle is now
We don't
gone.
wanna
as
talk
Jeff
about the
pours
fishing
Let's
trip.
talk about it.
another.
Again. We don't
Yeah.
talk about the fishing trip again. Mike, you feel free to jump in whenever you want to. Some. No, I'm not. You have to keep them. I want you to have them. I'm good. Come on.
Don't force him, Jeff.
Jeez,
Jesus.
Jeff.
Who's the older cousin here?
Yeah.
You are.
He just looked you.
Yeah. You're a little weathered, I guess.
Oh, yeah, man. Yeah, I'm weathered.
Yeah.
He doesn't know weather.
I'm emotionally weathered.
Emotionally weathered. That's some little cousin shit to say.
That is the little cousin stuff. Right.
No, I'm just kidding.
We had a great day at Open Mat. Another huge turnout.
Big open.
What,
mic today.
30 probably?
Yeah, probably.
At least 30?
50. I
Yeah.
don't know. I lost count at like
More than
45.
Odyssey. We had more than Odyssey did.
More than
I
Odyssey.
doubt it. Their open mats are hitting like
They are big.
75.
Yeah.
They legit are.
We actually had like 4 guys visiting today from Odyssey.
Well, Craig Jones came by. And sometimes he'll drop in.
and I didn't want to I don't want to say who it was because I don't want to be in trouble. But we did have 4.
Well, they promote cross training, buddy.
Yeah, whoever wasn't at their open mat, the 4 best guys that weren't at your open mat today, they were here.
Stupid.
They
They were here. They were here training.
and they did say man, they were like y'all's open is way more
Way
intense,
better.
way more
better.
intense than ours.
I must have missed all that.
Yeah, it was when you were doing your thing over there.
It
Doing my thing.
It happened.
Foot locking people.
Yeah.
Sweating. Somebody I did smother like waterboard style with my sweat.
Did you?
I'm trying to think who. Kevin, I tried, but Kevin's fucking. He's a little difficult.
Yeah, he's a little squirrely, isn't he?
He doesn't do a whole lot, but he's just hard to finish.
Yeah.
Yeah, I learned not to ride the Lightning on.
Did you?
On Austin.
Why are you just now figuring that out?
No, well, all right. In full disclosure, I looked up and there was like 37 seconds.
Okay.
I glanced and saw 37 seconds. I thought, if
I can make it 37
I
seconds.
can make 37 seconds.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, I am in an head and arm choke with none other than the Anaconda himself, Austin.
Not north-south, but head and arm?
He's full mount.
Okay, yeah.
And, he just kept resetting. Like it wouldn't work, so he would just reset.
Mm-hmm.
And he would just, his shoulder would start like right here at my clavicle bone.
Yeah.
And it was just like the worst, nastiest.
And slide up and then slide up and then yeah.
And so I was just like, I'm thinking, will that fucking buzzer ring at some point? It's got to go off at some point. And dude, I started hearing like the ringing in my head, like tunnel vision, and I can hear that. I'm like, oh,
They call that blood pressure.
Yeah,
because
I
he's
was-
squeezing your head.
yeah, I was about to go, and like finally he let go, and he kind of pat me on my chest, and he was like, wow, and I was like, yeah, that was not smart, and I'm feeling it all in here right
Yeah.
now.
Nope. Don't ride at him on the
know.
on the neck there, but
I know.
not at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My pride got in the way.
He's a black belt.
I know.
Well,
What
and
do you
he's a
expect to
good
happen?
black belt.
what
He's
the
not.
first tap? Yeah.
He's not. Not that
Just
there's
tap.
bad black belts, but I'm.
Are you
like,
saying there's which one of us is the bad black belt, Jeff?
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying
Kyle?
that he's like ridiculously
Are they in this
strong.
room?
Are they here?
No. I would've-
So it's either Luis, Cody, or Dave. That's
No,
what it is.
Yeah,
They don't even,
Probably
they don't-
Luis.
They don't
Probably
even.
Luis.
They don't even go to this gym.
Luis has been sick. Probably him.
They don't go to this gym.
Oh,
Hold
yeah.
on, let me text him right now.
Just text Luis real quick. and we'll
Let him
find
know
out.
that Jeff said he was the weak black
The
belt
weak
because he's
one.
been so sick.
And he looked so pale, and he looked like a vampire.
hey,
in Naga.
He did look like
He
a
did look
freaking
rough at
vampire,
Naga, I'm
bro.
not gonna
He looked
lie.
so bad.
He did not look. What did he have? Like some kind of
I don't know, bro.
sinus infection.
know.
Man. Yeah,
Yeah, you got to get all up in it.
got to be all up in it. You want to do it?
Just touch it.
But yeah, we gotta. We would have our. We messed up today. Our fourth port is not working, or else we would have a.
Why are you telling the people, bro?
Because I want to explain why Mike's not on a mic. Mike's not on a mic.
Maybe he doesn't
Mike
want to
on
be.
mic.
Mike on a mic. Hey,
Maybe he doesn't
we
want
may
to be.
start a new podcast.
Mike on a mic.
Mike on a mic,
Okay. That would be a podcast.
and then there's us.
And then there's the rest of us.
Well, Camera the Rev Studios is for.
We are for
Rent.
sale.
Yeah.
Yeah. We can be bought,
It's a hell of a facility. I know y'all
It
can't
is.
really
You
see.
can't really tell.
the outer stuff. Like
but it's
there's big production back
Yeah.
here.
Well, we got
We got about
walnut.
10 grand of
we
stuff
got the
over here.
walnut built-in shelving behind Mark.
Yeah,
You can't see
humidifier
it.
back here full of cigars and whiskey and stuff.
You know, the lighting.
yes, the lighting is top notch.
the makeup girls
Yeah.
that
Just to
they
keep
just
the-
keep
Yeah.
being topless.
No.
I
We didn't
keep
call
trying to-
y'all. Go back. Go back.
Yeah, put your tops back on. Why do they keep taking their tops off?
They're
Y'all's fault.
whores.
That's my fault. Whores. You can't.
Jeez, Jeff. God, man.
They're paid actors,
Like-
so we can treat them however. They're not actually employed. They're not like
They're not
1099
real employees.
No, they're paid actors, so we can just treat
we are
them.
9 minutes in. Have you have already made Mike feel uncomfortable 3 times?
He listens to the podcast every week.
Yeah, but it's different in person.
We start calling Jeff Diddy.
It's different.
I grew up with this guy. I know what he's like.
Yeah, we did.
Mike, what could you tell us about Jeff that maybe we don't know?
Take it off.
Take
let him
that-
just
yeah,
let him
let him
hold
have
it.
it,
Yeah,
yeah.
there we go.
There were 16 grandkids. Jeff was the baby.
Out of 16.
So he's baby Jeff.
Baby Jeff.
Baby Jeff.
Or is your sister's?
Baby Jeffrey.
Ooh,
Yes.
I think that's worse, Jeff. I think Baby Jeffrey is worse than Baby Jeff.
Always,
I like calling you, I like
always.
baby Jeffrey.
I think
Even if he was the problem, he was never the problem.
Yeah.
Because he was the baby.
Oh, I'm the youngest
God.
out of mine, so I understand. Maybe that's why we get along so well.
I'm the oldest.
We had a great place to grow up, though. We grew up, 5 of my 7 brothers, lived on the same street. Jeff was almost across the road from me. Our grandmother lived right in the middle of us. Things that kids these days will never see. Like, we lived on a dirt road. We would play in the road till you heard a car coming.
Yeah.
And then
Yep.
get up and get out of the road.
Yeah.
And you could hear it from like a mile away most times.
And you knew them.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was a great place to grow up. A lot of them still live there. Jeff, though, golly, man.
No,
Got away
Jeff
with
got
everything.
Jeff. Yeah. Then went.
So, listen, this joker right here. I'm talking about the time I made you in Uncle Johnny's yard.
Well, you hit me
Oh.
in the back of the head with a
So
rock.
I threw a rock at Mike and hit him in the back of the head,
Jeff.
and I took off running because I knew if I could make it to my grandmother's house, I'd be safe. So I
It's a
run.
common tactic
I'm
with us
running across
youngins.
the street,
Yeah.
and he picks up a rock, and he's like 50 yards away and sells a rock at me onto the front porch, and knocks the glass out of Grandma's screen door.
Oh, shit.
Badass.
Get, hey. I didn't get in trouble.
Badass whipping. My dad.
Yeah.
My dad was a no mercy kind of guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
look, that at least says that the throw was online with Jeff.
You want me to tell him about the squirrel?
It was at least online because
Okay.
if it hit the glass in the
So-
screen door, you were headed to the screen door. It was close.
Let me
Yeah,
tell you about
you're in
another
the-
one
yeah.
in this same era. So he and I are walking behind my grandmother's house one day. We were going to walk down to the pond, and a squirrel was sitting on a limb of a pecan tree 35, 40 yards away. And Mike says, and I mean, this is both of us here to tell this. This is no bullshit. Mike says, "You think I can hit that squirrel with a rock?" And I was like, "Ain't no way." He picks up a little pebble rock about this big and hits that squirrel in the head.
Damn.
And that squirrel just pink. It didn't kill it.
Oh no.
It's still breathing.
Yeah.
So we felt bad. And we set it on the limb. We set it on the limb.
Concussed squirrel.
We set him
You
on
got
the
it,
limb.
little buddy.
And we sit there and pat him, trying to hope he'd be okay. And like, I don't know, what, a few hours? We come back and he was gone.
That's because some fucking
Something
hawk
predator
came out and ate
swooped
him.
down and
No,
grabbed
we
him.
saw it. We saw him the next day.
We saw him and several others.
He was the only squirrel on the street.
The only squirrel. But I mean, he did. I'm talking like 40-yard shot with a rock, and just I'm like, maybe you should have pitched in the majors.
That's hilarious. That's like some y'all got some like Creek Indian blood in y'all. That's some Navajo shit.
Oh,
Yeah.
there's no doubt. I mean, Grandma
Yeah.
probably messed around with some Indians. Who knows?
Not grandpa, but grandma, huh?
I mean, it could have been Grandpa. They
Yeah.
called him Rip for a reason.
Oh Jesus.
That was his nickname, Rip. R.I.P.
Big
was.
Rip. I know a Rip, but he's a big black guy from Douglasville.
They called him that because he was so cut, like muscular. Like he worked labor hard his whole life. That's why they called
Really?
him. Yeah. But I always like to think that he probably had like a huge, like
Piece on him?
Like and he just ripped shit up.
You like to think of it that way?
Yeah. Swear.
That's weird, Jeff.
That's
Grandpa,
you
man.
like to think of it
yeah,
that
like
way.
it's
weird.
Like Grandpa had a hammer. You know what I mean?
Your poor grandmother.
I've
Like
never
a sledgehammer. Well,
yeah.
she had 7 boys.
Yeah, but apparently not by choice. And 4 of them are all at once.
He only made boys. Think about that.
Oh, that does say a lot, though. Yeah, the ones that just have boys.
Is that a thing?
Yeah, it is.
Like I made 2 girls.
Yeah. So I got 2 and a boy. Yeah, That's-
I mean,
I feel
you know,
man.
I
I feel
mean-
you. Yeah, no, that's right. Yeah, no, that's because you get deeper in the vagina.
I don't think that's the way it works.
That is how it works. I didn't get a boy until we
don't
got that
think-
trampoline at the house.
I don't think that's
And the
way-
trampoline, it bounces back. So
So the trampoline,
just get deeper
the
and deeper.
trampoline helped you.
yeah, it's just great. That's why if you're trying to have a boy, you don't let them be on top. You got to be on top
So you're saying
because gravity.
without that trampoline, Dominic would be.
I'm not saying
would be
100%
Dominica.
sure, but it's possible. No, it would have been something super Italian. Like if it was a girl,
Like Fiona,
something like that, maybe.
Sophia.
Sophia.
Yeah, it's another super.
Speaking of
No.
Sophia,
No.
Yeah.
No.
there's a restaurant in Cedartown called Sephora, and it is the sister restaurant of a restaurant called Petros. Have you guys ever been to Petros
Yes.
in Cedartown?
It's good.
No.
You need to go.
Greek place.
I passed by it.
It's good.
Yeah.
I wouldn't really call it Greek.
Greek American.
I went last night. Yes, and
Why would you call it Greek?
the one in town is better. It's
not enough
so-
shit.
It's not.
Sephora.
It's not Sephora.
Yes, it is.
Jeff.
Michelle is Sephora.
Michelle.
Oh,
Why did you? Yeah, and you muted.
You knew
and
that was
Mike.
coming, right? You knew that was
Jesus.
coming,
Well,
right? I didn't have to
well,
tell
I
you.
have more questions for Mike and Jeff, so you're gonna have to unmute him.
no, direct Mike.
Okay. Well, yeah, Mike. All right. So speaking of, hold that red clay up again. Speaking of this fine bourbon we're drinking and all, Jeff mentioned, if y'all haven't listened to that the red clay about Billy Burt Sunday. How's that work? Billy
Sunday Burt.
That's it. It's an amazing story, and if you're around, the Metro Atlanta,
Zorbas,
East Georgia,
by the
West
way.
Georgia, North Georgia area.
No, it's not what you said. It's Zorbas.
That's right, Zorba.
It's not what you
Zorba,
said.
Sephora,
It's totally different.
I don't think that's what you said.
tomato.
Sephora is not the same as Zorbas.
Well, anyway, one brother owns Zorba, and the other brother owns Petros.
Did you hear anything in your headphones?
I mean, I heard myself.
Yeah, you didn't, because I muted you. Mike, you're not muted. You're not muted.
You're back, Mike. Anywho, in the red clay, it covers a lot of the Dixie Mafia days and all that kind of stuff here in the South, and it's always interesting to me, local stuff like that, because like usually if you know enough people or people have been around long enough, you usually know somebody that's known somebody. It's cool to kind of be to it, but like.
Yeah.
It's cool that it was around here and everything. But you and grew up around that same time frame, right?
Earl Lee, the sheriff of Douglas
Around his
County,
time frame, yeah.
He was good friends with our family.
Right.
The sad part of it was, like I was telling you earlier, our house got broke into 6 times in 16 years. We were the last house on the road.
Dirt road.
Yeah, and I've seen him literally. You hear those stories on the podcast, like him knocking on our door at midnight one night with a guy that they had caught that had broke into our house, and the guy had bandages all over his head. That was never a question as how those happened, but then he told my dad, he said, Russell, they've told us where some of your things are up in the woods. We're going to go get them. And Dad said, well, do you want me to go with you? And he said, well, no, why? And Dad said, well, what if he tries to run? And the reply was, I hope he does.
Make things easier.
Just a different time then,
Yeah.
There was a little area down the street from us. Wasn't the greatest place, and sometimes those people could walk through the woods to our house.
Yeah. Yeah.
Didn't he say something like, with all the bandages on his head, Russell, this guy's decided to tell us?
Yeah.
He made it sound like it was his idea.
He decided to come on
This
up here
guy's
and
decided he wants to do the right thing.
get right, yeah.
And then he brought one over one time, different time that they had caught, and pulled up, and they caught him right then. The guy ran out in the road and tried to flag a car down for a ride down the street, and he had flagged down an unmarked police car, and they just brought him straight back to our house. And he pulls up in the driveway with him and takes his, you guys know what a flapjack.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Takes it off his belt and hands it to my dad and said, just go get in the back seat with him if you want to.
Damn.
And Dad didn't, which was surprising because my dad had that side of him.
Yeah.
That was, but yeah.
That's awesome.
Have you ever seen him beat the hell out of anybody?
My dad?
Yeah.
I didn't ever witness it. I know a guy, Dad was real protective of his family. And Tommy, Jeff's dad, they were in a pool hall one night, and Tommy had hustled a guy out of some money. And the guy
that doesn't. Okay.
Didn't want to
Your
pay.
dad, right? Yeah.
And he didn't want to pay Tommy. And
Apple
then,
tree.
And then
Okay, go ahead.
he didn't want to pay Tommy, and then he basically called my grandmother, questioned my dad's heritage, or questioned Tommy's heritage.
Yeah.
And so my dad took a pool stick and just beat the guy in the floor with it till he decided to say uncle.
Decided to recant. Oh,
Damn.
And that was Frank. Is it Frank Baggett? Frank Baggett.
That's a terrible last name.
Frank Baggett's pool hall in Douglasville years ago, and my dad has told numerous stories. But yeah, that story right there has been the same for years. That dad hustled this guy. He was a great pool, and he's always been good at pool. Mm-hmm. And dad hustled this guy, and the guy got mad, and Russell just beat the shit out of him. But we grew up with a very we were very tight knit, very clannish, like just kind of everybody kind of, it was that way growing up. And my dad and his brothers, the relationship between them kind of mirrored even down to the second generation between me and my cousins. When people talk about cousins, my cousins, Mike, I could name them, Barry, Brian. Well, Brian's the one that died. But, all those guys, it literally was more like a brother than a cousin. Very, very close. We grew up together. We fished together. We hunted together. We did everything together. Mm-hmm. So, we literally saw each other every single day.
Right.
And so, very, 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 very close. But it was a great childhood, all in all. So, kind of cool.
And what era? Like that was what, 60s,
80s, 60s. Fuck you, Kyle. 80s.
That was the 80s. Okay.
No, he meant growing up in the 60s. We're not that old. We grew up in the 80s. No, you.
Yeah. See, there you go.
You were born in 69. Yeah, so we grew 80s was when we. That's in our era. No,
11.
I was 80. I was 86. I was 86.
I was born in 86.
I was 10. I was Penn's age. I was not near as tough as Penn at 10.
I was a baby.
Penn at 10 would have whipped my ass at 10. That's for sure.
I think 10-year-old me probably would have beat Dominic's ass.
10-year-old me would absolutely beat all the boys up at 10.
Yeah.
Jeff couldn't have beat my ass till the last 2 years. No,
I probably still can't. Let's be honest. Oh,
I was
man.
a big kid. I was a big kid at 10.
Hey, I don't want to pull one of my famous segues, but since we're talking about whooping some ass,
Yeah.
I kind of want to talk about the Russian military.
Well,
What?
that kind of goes with your strong arm justice we were kind of talking about there.
Yes.
Back in the day here.
Yes.
So
It's very, very modern.
the Russians had that terrorist attack this week, right?
Yeah, in Moscow. At
Or end of
the-
last week.
End of last week, man?
End of
It
last
was a
week.
concert hall.
Yeah. Where 173, I think, were killed.
Yes.
Well,
Well, they came in shooting first, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Then they detonated a bomb or something, or set it on fire.
Something like that. Yeah. Ended up killing over 170 people. And the Russians did find who did it. They found they arrested
Caught their
4
asses.
people, I think. And when they made it to the jail, to their first hearing, 2 of them were severely bandaged. Talking about being bandaged, they were severely
one
bandaged.
was missing an ear.
2 of them had their ear. One of them was completely gone, and the
But
other
he
one
wasn't that hungry, though, right?
Had the other ear ripped off and just placed
And I
back
think-
on the side of his head.
And I think one was missing an eye.
Yes, that's correct. And then some videos I think were released.
Yes.
And they legit cut one of these guys' ears off and made him chew on it.
Did you see that?
Made him
You heard
chew
about
on
it?
Damn.
Yeah.
So
Made him
they
chew
caught
on
the
it.
guys, the Russian military caught the guys that bombed this concert hall. And, they did what you would expect a Russian military to do. Yeah, one of the guys, they literally cut his ear off and made him eat his own ear. Nice. Yeah.
Damn.
And one of them, when they rolled him into court to stand trial,
One of them couldn't even.
one of them was
was in a wheelchair.
unconscious
He was
in a
unconscious the
wheelchair
whole time.
standing trial.
Yeah.
Now, all right, we've talked about this. You and I talked about this on the phone, and I know there's a lot of people out there. I've watched like TikTok, and you got all these people. Human rights. That's a human rights violation. Blah 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 blah. I'll tell you something, and I don't mind just exposing myself here to the world. I have zero.
Don't pull your dick out.
Please don't.
I'm not going to embarrass myself. I'm exposing
expose.
myself. I have no problem with what they did. If they know that those guys are responsible, I got no problem with them pushing the envelope like they did at all.
Right.
You know, I know part of me as an American says the due process, you're innocent until proven guilty. I get it. But if you know they did it,
Well, I like that there's things like that in place, like due process. I like that exists.
Yep.
we're too soft.
Well, but I think, so to speak to that, like, I think when you have it, like, literally, that's the guy shooting at a crowd of people, and we nab him. Like, I don't think we need to waste much time. Court costs nothing.
Agreed.
I think we can just go ahead and do what we need to do.
I'll give this broader example of why I feel like some things like that are okay, and that's dropping the atomic bomb, right? So typically, as with military, you want to try to prevent as much collateral damage as you can, right? You don't want to harm a bunch of women and children. You don't want to bomb a bunch of people and
Civilians.
kill people unnecessarily.
Civilians, yeah.
Right. But in that situation, that scenario, it was a measured response, and
Absolutely.
he should absolutely have used the atomic bomb. And there was a lot of casualties from it, but it was for the purpose. So it was an over to the top response, absolutely. But it set the tone right then and there with what happens if you mess with the United States.
Well, but my only thing with it, and it's sort of playing devil's advocate, is, for one, where does that stop? 2, who decides? And then 3, the country work as a really extreme. Like, if you're going to go pull a terrorist attack in Moscow now, like,
Yeah, you're going to.
it's a pretty big deterrent. The problem is like, take a look at the countries that implement this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And they abuse the fuck out of
Yes.
having that kind of freedom. They bag you,
Yeah,
and
anybody.
you'll just be a business owner who didn't want to do what they wanted.
Right.
They
Yes.
will black bag
I
you, stick
understand.
you in a hole, and just forget about you until
All
they
right.
want to get to you. Take
think-
you away from your whole family and everything.
Here's the other side of this: is Jonathan Diller was a 31-year-old police officer in New York City. He was the father of a 1-year-old boy and married. He did a routine traffic stop last week and was shot and killed. Okay? Senseless. Right? The guy's gone. This little boy has lost his father forever. This woman has lost her forever. Senseless. 31 years old. The thug that killed him had been in prison for 5 years.
Yeah,
The other guy that was with him had been arrested 14 times for attempted murder and assault.
Right.
Why in the hell are they still, or why are they on the street?
yeah. No, I agree. Well,
And these Democratic,
that's state to state.
these Democratic New York people that tried to show up at the wake for Jonathan Diller were met by the family
Good for the cops and the family.
and told, leave. We don't
Yeah.
want you here.
The governor
That's
was kicked
awesome.
out of the.
Yeah,
the,
they
the
said,
way.
leave. We don't want you here.
Yeah, go.
You're responsible for this.
See, and I think that's more of a society there. Like when people are, if it gets bad enough, especially in the States, like the people that are majority quiet or silent or whatever, when they start moving and acting, like it's a real force. Like it's really something to be taken serious.
Yes.
But in the countries where you know they'll chop your hands off for stealing, yeah, they don't get a lot of theft. But they also, if they don't like you, they go, oh, you steal now. We chop
yeah.
off your hands because you
Yeah.
didn't do what I tell you to.
Right.
And you can't speak. There is no freedom of speech. Go to China and talk about freedom of speech.
Right. Talk
Like,
about the government.
Talk about the government, yeah. Go to Russia and start being a guy in the community, start talking shit about Putin.
Yeah.
See what fucking thugs show up at your door.
Right.
You know, so is that it gets out of balance.
So you're saying that what in that isolated incident, it wasn't wrong, but that mentality spills over to other
Yes.
situations that are maybe not fair.
It gets corrupt, or absolute power corrupts absolutely, and that's too much power.
I agree, but on this situation, they got it right.
For sure.
Yeah.
There's probably plenty of situations in a handful of countries that I don't agree with that handle certain
So the question is which extreme is better?
I don't know. Usually dealing in extremes one way or another isn't balanced.
I understand. You don't get to pick that.
Right.
The fact that the extremes are there, they're there.
Well,
so
an extreme,
is the extreme conservative side where
does it go too far?
Russia
Yeah, I don't
just
know.
Russia just fucks everybody up?
Well-
Is that better, or is the extreme where we let criminals out that kill young cops?
Both extremes are not good. I think it's a balanced approach, and I think maybe there's something to having a town square and the people having more of a say so.
Like hanging people in public?
Maybe, I don't know.
Bottle's gone.
Yeah,
No doubt that if a person is 100% guilty, and you hung them on the courthouse square
yeah,
or firing squad for killing someone,
yeah.
I think you curb murder
Absolutely.
in America.
Yeah, I think
I
you get a
agree.
big response right away.
I agree, and I
I don't want is for that to turn into, there's been 5 people hung in the past 5 years and 3 of them were wrong. You know what I mean? And it's very subjective because
3 out of 5 is pretty. that's pretty strong.
The Atlanta courthouse shooter, what was his name? Brian Nichols?
Brian Nichols. Brian Nichols. Yeah, I agree.
there's some of them we don't need to waste time.
So Mike's
on.
referring to Brian Nichols. Was it 10 years ago? He
Stole a car after he
went
jumped
into a
out.
federal courthouse in Atlanta, shot and killed people.
Well, he was there in court, wasn't he?
Yeah, so we know
I
he
forgot
did
about
it. They
that.
had video evidence.
If that worked, you'd see signs of it. We don't because we privatize prisons and we incentivize locking people up.
Yeah, you monetize it.
Yeah.
You privatize it and monetize it at the same time.
Yeah. State to state. Like, what's the crazy fucking guy in Florida?
Grady Judd.
Grady Judd.
Sheriff Grady Judd.
Oh,
Polk,
Hey,
yeah.
Polk
man,
County
he's
Sheriff.
got different situation than people in fucking Idaho.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think that Joker should be hemming motherfuckers
Yeah.
up. Like,
And
you find a
he
sex
look-
trafficker,
You got to
head him
go.
out.
I'm going to jet out, let you guys finish.
All right,
All right, Mike. Everybody
Mike's
appreciate
gone. Hey, thank you to Mike PKS. He brought
PKS,
pizzas
buddy.
today.
you.
I'm bridging y'all. Thank you, Mike. We love you,
Hey,
buddy.
open door, Mike, anytime you
Anytime,
want, buddy.
buddy.
Hey,
Yes,
come
sir.
back and see us. I'll do it. You're sweating. It's hot.
Sorry,
I
we're
love
trying
Mike.
to work
I love Mike.
our air's fucked up.
He is. I want to tell y'all. You couldn't ask for a more loyal
Yeah.
family member.
Yeah, I believe it.
He is the epitome of the old saying, he wouldn't come get you out of jail. He'd be in jail with you.
Yeah.
That's him.
Yeah.
That's him. So,
Yeah,
but
Mike
going
seems like
back
good people.
to, I don't know, man. I understand what you're saying about the extremes, and I get
Right.
it. I just feel like in these liberal, these sanctuary cities,
Mm-hmm.
for instance, Democratic ran cities, governments,
Oh, yeah.
they are letting the dog.
Yeah.
And they're letting these people get away literally with murder,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I don't understand that.
Yeah, I think, and it may come to a point where it's like, hey, if that's if that state and that city is how they're running things, and it starts spilling over, maybe we have another conversation then. But until then, like, if New York City burns down and we're handling shit like we're supposed to, Florida's handling shit like they're supposed to.
Yeah.
It seems like y'all should try to change things in New York.
But they don't see it that way.
No, they don't, and that's the problem with like New York,
mean, it
Chicago.
spills over.
They don't see that. They think the reason they're having they double down on it all.
Exactly.
Like the reason they're having trouble in Chicago is because of guns.
Right.
The reason they're having trouble in Chicago is because no one's allowed to have guns except criminals.
But that's their federal influence. The people in Washington,
I think it's the opposite.
Really?
I think it's the local. I think it's the pocketed liberals like in Chicago influencing the federal government, not
Because
the
they
federal
have the
government
votes.
now. Yeah, it's
well, that's what I'm saying. They're
Yeah.
still they're
Yes. So it's
like one hand wash on the other.
It's these people that come up like community organizers, like Barack Obama, who's a community organizer who ends up getting the presidency and then can influence policy overall. But even though that they have never been able to federally regulate guns the way Chicago regulates guns. So it starts at that. They're trying to go small market to big country.
But you look at,
But it's not. They can't do it because the majority of the United States is conservative.
Yeah, it's
even
not
though
Chicago.
It's not
So-
Chicago.
Yeah,
in
the entire-
Chicago's regulated gun market, they also
Is-
have one of the highest homicide rates.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
how does that make
Yeah,
sense?
yeah.
Right. So prime example
it's
of
the least amount of firearms in law-abiding citizens.
Right.
Per
because criminals do not care
about laws.
about laws.
If they
No,
did,
well, you know what happens?
they wouldn't
if
be criminals.
So if they outlaw guns tomorrow, guess who's a criminal now?
yeah,
Like, so you just created a bunch of criminals.
yeah.
So the Biden's press secretary, right? This Karine Jean-Pierre, whatever her name is.
I can't stand her.
Oh, the one that said top of mind a million times when he
Yes.
forgot
So-
about that lady dying?
Yes.
Listen, if you listen to her respond, did you see where she hung up
they're
on the
terrible.
reporter on the radio show? Mark?
No, I didn't.
That she's got to be running out of bullshit.
So he asked
Can't
her.
handle it. She can't.
Who
Snap 'em.
could?
So,
Jesus.
so a radio host, he basically asked her about. He said, "Look, he basically put it in dummy terms. He's like, you say that he's doing a good job in the economy." He said, "But what about the cost of milk and eggs and taxes?" He said, "People are struggling, And he started presenting her with facts. You can look this up. This happened last week. She got mad and hung up on a radio talk show
Yeah.
and left.
Because
What
she
was the
can't-
talk show?
She couldn't handle
I don't remember
it.
the guy's name. But my point is, if you listen to her speak, she just flat lies. I mean, she
Yes.
just says stuff that is absolutely the opposite of what is happening.
and then just moves on because
As if
she
it-
has
as if
the
it never
control
happened.
of the mic in the press rooms.
As if it never happened. Just
she
ignore it.
says lies, and then she says, "Okay, move on. I'm done with taking your question.
Absolutely.
Moving over here
Here
to
to
this."
answer, or she'll be like, it's obvious the answer to that question. I'm not going to
Yeah.
answer that. Like,
Yeah,
it's like
we've talked about that.
Yeah.
over here, moving over here. CNN, you have a question?
we've covered that. That was fucking 2 months ago, lady.
yeah.
Well,
Lots changed.
and I understand that she has a job to do, and she's being paid to. I get it. I understand, but still, I mean, my goodness.
it's tough, man. It's
So,
tough.
we think Trump's going to pull it out in November.
I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. I think I think if it was a fair election, I think it's 100% Trump gets elected. I think if it's a fair election.
What do you think happens if they fuck him?
No.
You don't think the people nothing?
Nah.
No.
Really?
It's not it's not enough of a majority.
They've talked about it, but
You don't think people will raise fucking hell?
Yeah, they'll raise
No.
hell.
But
It'll die down just like it
because
always
they control
does.
the media.
It'll
the
die
liberals
down
control the media.
Because here's the thing,
Oh no, man! It's not the same as what it was
Kyle.
before.
People are afraid to fight.
Yeah, but they may not have a choice much longer.
People are afraid to fight.
They may not.
When it comes
it's
right
hitting
down
people,
to
it's
it.
hitting people's doorstep. Like they may not have a choice much longer.
I hope you're right, but I just feel like
I hope I'm wrong. Like, I
no.
hope-
I'm saying I would like to see. I think back when England was imposing taxation on the American colonies without representation over in England.
Mm-hmm.
I think the American people. I think it got to the point where they truly had enough,
Mm.
right? And they said, "We can't take this anymore. We can't live like this."
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think
To the point that they said, "We're willing to fight
Mm-hmm.
to for our right
yeah,
to party."
yeah,
Did you get that?
yeah. I do remember that.
Throwback to the Beastie Boys.
Yeah, there was
That was good.
no
That was good.
no stop still Brooklyn or something.
Yeah, that was good. I mean, I nailed that.
But no, that's right. But seriously, by the time we get to the end of this year, I don't think we're gonna have. There may not be much of a choice, buddy.
Well,
there's a
I
lot
mean-
of shit going on. Like they're doing a bunch of tests. You had the cyber shit with the cell phones with the
When all the Verizon,
AT&T and all
or
that kind of
AT&T,
stuff
yeah,
went
whatever
down.
went down.
That was a test. You got this bridge getting knocked out.
Oh,
You
do we have time
got-
to talk about that, or should we wait to the next show?
No, we got time. We're
But all like you got a bunch of that stuff happening, and right now we are at the going into Easter weekend. We are at the highest level of potential terrorist threat
Yeah.
that we have ever been in. Ever. That's pre 9/11 and everything.
That captain had one job.
Yeah, but have you heard about them getting hacked?
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying at the top of his itinerary,
Okay.
it literally said,
you-
"Don't hit the
When
fucking
you
bridge."
yeah.
Okay, but no. Have you heard about the black box?
What did it say?
Oh no, I haven't
have-
Heard about the black
So
box?
I did hear that.
I know the power went
I did
out.
hear that.
Yeah, no, you
once
see
the
the
power
power.
and the GPS got fucked up, when you're going into that river, the current is so strong and there's so much weight that basically once you get off course to a certain percentage, it's the beginning of the end. Like you can't correct course after a certain point.
So-
they knew that.
So I don't believe that I believe the captain was doing everything he could to save
Yeah,
it.
I think they got
Okay.
fucked up
You
at a
think
certain
there was
point.
foul play?
Yes, I do. But
You
I
don't think it was a pure accident?
No, I don't.
No, I don't either.
I don't. So, but I don't think it's like they.
I did initially.
I don't think they infiltrated the captain and like
They didn't have
turned
to.
him. No, they don't have to anymore. So they because they did warn the
is-
only people that died
who's
on the
they?
bridge. Let me talk.
China.
Anybody could be anybody. Our adversary is who they are. It could be
Lone
anybody,
wolf.
foreign or domestic. To take a quote from the oath that our soldiers take.
I like it. I like it.
So
I like where you're going.
foreign or
Orson.
domestic.
Cool.
Either it doesn't matter.
Need an American
So-
flag up in this bitch.
Dun, dun, dun. No. So
I have 2 giant flags out
okay,
there.
so the only people that died were people that were working on the bridge. They had about like a 2-minute warning that something wasn't going right, so they were able to stop traffic from going on the bridge to save lives. So they saved lives there. There were 6 people that died filling potholes on the bridge. They didn't have time to get off. It's unclear if they notified them or not. They don't know. So those are the only 6 people that died. If you watch the video, the ship lost power multiple times before it hit the
Pylon.
before it hit the bridge. It lost power, regained power, lost power again at the last second, and veered hard to the right into the pylon of the bridge. They said that the captain, right as they lost power the second time, called for the anchor on what's the left-hand side, port or starboard?
Starboard.
The left. So whatever.
Because you port on the right, right?
I thought you poured on the left. I
Maybe
don't
you
know.
do port on the
Okay,
left.
so whatever the left-hand side is, they called for that anchor to drop, which should have pitched the boat to the left as it stopped. Well, it didn't.
Or it could potentially. Like,
Well,
that'd be like your
physics
last-
would say
right.
that you drop
That's your
that
shot.
left anchor.
Yeah,
that was
yeah.
their last ditch effort, which is it checks all the boxes. It's what he's supposed to do, right? If you feel like you're going to make contact, if it's going to veer way to the right, you drop your left anchor, and it veers you back over and controls your ship. So that was their last thing that they did. Obviously, they recovered the black box for the ship because the ship didn't sink, right?
Right.
There is a 2-minute, 30-second section of that black box that it didn't record anything right around the accident.
Port is left.
So the port side, yeah. So they called to drop the port side anchor, and what it looks like is the opposite happened. It looks like the starboard anchor dropped. Because it immediately veered and pitched hard right, which because of the current it would have, and the way everything was flowing. But in order to figure out what happened, they recovered the black box. Obviously, the ship didn't sink, and 2 minutes and 30 seconds of the black box time it's missing, and it was right around the accident.
How does that happen?
There's redundancies in power and in everything that black box should have been fine the whole time. I mean, that's what it's there for, is in the emergency. So
Now, all the dropping the anchor and all that stuff's all computerized, right?
Yeah, it's not.
It's not like a
manual.
lever.
Yeah,
Right.
I don't think so.
Go kick the fucking.
Yeah, I don't think so.
The anchor out.
I don't know that they could do not at that point.
No.
Not
So
with a
then
ship
all
that
of that
big.
could be hacked too.
Yeah.
The GPS can be hacked. The anchors
Yep.
can be hacked.
Mm-hmm.
They could be listening.
So we think it was the Chinese.
I don't know.
What's that Chinese group that's supposed to be like the most notorious hackers that they feel like's been infiltrated by the
MIT
CCP?
grads.
I don't know.
The MIT grads.
No,
Georgia
not
Tech.
the MIT grads, buddy.
MIT.
That's what I said. MIT.
Oh, I say MIT.
Why would I say MIT?
I can't see your lips. I can't
you don't
hear.
need to see
I'm
my
old.
lips, homie. You
I'm
can't
old.
see and you can't hear.
It's bad.
I wanted to call you a name. I won't call you. Matt 4.
He
T-Rex
is
Flex.
in the hole.
Oh shit! Simon's up.
In the holes.
Are we tapping out?
Not right now. Yeah, let's tap out, boys. We're on it. 46 minutes.
I love y'all.
Tap
Oh.
out.
Tap out is I am a shout out to my buddy Simon, who is competing this weekend in California at
Las Vegas.
excuse me, Las Vegas.
ADCC.
Good luck to you, buddy. You're gonna do well, and we're pulling.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm gonna tap out to that as well. Go kill us. We're already proud of you, buddy.
Yeah, proud of you. Proud of the work you're doing, man. Love you, Simon. Thank you, everybody. Shout out also to Mike at PKS.
Yes,
sir.
for coming
Thank you for
in,
coming,
bringing
buddy.
us some food, some liquor that the boys already drank, and some lemonade. We love you. Love you guys. We out.